I used to ask myself the question, why are so many people silent about the things that are actually going on? And instead, they're so consumed with the scandals, the controversies, and the conspiracy theories, right? I mean, I'm a conspiracy theorist as much as maybe anybody else, or at least those who aren't so far gone that they have lost their right mind. But, it's interesting to live in a time where we actually have an imminent threat, a real life threat to Western civilization, and yet people are far more fixated on the conspiracy. More specifically, it's, the Jews control the world is where many people are fixated and focused, whilst there are Christians, Jews, and a multitude of secular people or other religions, the Druze, etc., that are being massacred, that are being ethnically cleansed right now in real time by the very same people who are being defended, by the very same people who are being, even worse off, ignored, right? You have these so-called conservative voices, these America First people, these so-called Christians who are deathly silent, or they bring it up as, just like a small talking point. They have massive platforms. We'll create a 5 to 6 series, on whether or not the president of France is married to a dude. But when it comes to something like this, why is it that there is no 6-part series? Why is it that there's not even one video just concentrated and focused on this one thing outside of maybe people's criticisms, and then now they feel forced to talk about it? And then I realized, it's because they don't care. It's because that's not necessarily what their audience is captivated by. They want the controversy. They want the drama. I used to think most people actually cared about the Epstein files. I thought it actually was about the truth of Jeffrey as well as that client list. Now I've come to realize that most of them didn't actually give a damn at all. What they care about is the controversy and sometimes the clicks. And so if it's not that, then, maybe it doesn't matter enough. So I said, you know what? Instead of asking yourself that question, why aren't they? Why don't you just do it? You go ahead and research and talk about what's going on in Syria against the Druze. You go ahead and talk about what's going on, in Nigeria and the Christians, or even Syria and the Christians. You go ahead and bring that up. And so that's exactly what we're going to do today. I am really hoping that this channel right here, I think it's CBN, is not copywritten material in order for us to be able to do a thorough reaction to this.
Christians are being massacred in Nigeria. Why is the global community silent? According to a 2023 New York Post article, quote, more than 52,000 Christians have been butchered or hacked to death for being Christians since 2009 in Nigeria. Where is the outrage? Where are the campus protests? Well, Brian Orm, CEO of Global Christian Relief, joins us now. So, Brian, what is going on in Nigeria?
It is indeed a massacre, and it needs more attention. It's devastating and unthinkable what's happening to the Christian community across the Middle Belt and the northern region of Nigeria. And I've been in the field with believers there and seeing firsthand what is happening across that region, which again, it's hard to wrap our minds around, but it's happening every day. And again, we just had an attack over the past week on Palm Sunday as well, too, that was devastating.
So can you give me some examples of maybe what's happening on the ground?
Yeah, so there's a number of different Islamic extremist groups. It could be Boko Haram, Fulani militants who've been radicalized, Islamic State of West Africa Province, another kind of Al-Qaeda spinoff. And these are all kind of pushing through Christian communities.
I'm sorry. No. Wait. No, that can't be right. No. Hold up. Let's zoom that out for a second. It's got to be the Jews. I mean, again, all of it is the Jews, right? It's got to be this guy over here is claiming that it is the religion of peace, Islam. Can you believe that? This is downright bigotry, racism against brown people. The Jews the Jews have to tie into this somewhere. Let's continue to watch. Maybe he's finally gonna tell the truth that it's the Jews, the purveyor of all that is unholy and unright.
In the northern region, attacking at night, they kind of go through the same protocol: attack, abduct, force marriages, take over communities, and force thousands of Christians that have been in those communities for decades to leave and be forced to go to IDP camps and find help and be basically put in a situation where they're completely vulnerable and left with nothing because of their faith in Jesus.
So, Brian, why is the media silent? This sounds like the most unimaginable atrocities being, happening in real time, and no one seems to not only care but be reporting on it. I mean, it's literally radio silence. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I think there's two reasons. And one is basically because the news media today rolls through with what people care about, and people are not clicking on those stories.
Facts.
People are not engaging with what's happening in Africa today. And they're so distant, it feels so distant. And the second part is like there's conflict. Many media outlets feel like, hey, this is not a religious conflict, it's a socioeconomic or it's a ethnic conflict. But from our context in the field, from seeing it firsthand, it is a targeted religious persecution that's.
I have to add this here. Shout out to our brother doing good work. It's because it does not fit the narrative. Again, it's the same reason why these so-called folks on the right, so-called conservatives, who are so loud anytime Israel sneezes, are deathly quiet when this is happening in real time. Why? Because it does not fit the narrative. As somebody said in my comments, they said, if there's no Jews, it doesn't make the news. Something of that nature. If there are no Jews, it does not make the news. Unless it's the Druze, then it didn't make the news. Even though there was the Jews, of course, who came to those people's aid and was the only nation in that entire region to actually do something for these people. Imagine that. Those evil, pesky Jews. It's because the left is fixated on their identity politics, on destroying the Western world. So therefore, I mean, Christianity is it's Western ideology that needs to go. So yeah, that's kind of a positive to them. Also, the brown peoples, of course, right? Because the Arabs are the only brown people in the world. They're, of course, the Jews aren't brown. There's no brown Jews. So, we stand with the blacks and the browns because they are the disenfranchised, the marginalized people. And therefore, even if they are the actual colonizer, they're not the colonizer. Technically, they're not the colonizer, even if they are currently colonizing. They're genociding a people, then they are conquering, taking control of, but it's not colonizing. They are forcibly converting, but they're not colonizing. Huh? See how that works? Perfect sense it is making.
Happening across the Middle Belt in the northern region of Nigeria to wipe out Christians and replace their communities with Islamic communities.
See, that'd be the pushback. I'm sure that, some people in the comments will say, oh, this is a land dispute, or in the Democratic Republic of Congo, this is about rare earth minerals. And is it mutually exclusive? Can it be both of those things at the same time?
Yeah, and I would say this, there are a number of factors. So it is a complex situation, but at the core, the people that we talk to, and again, firsthand testimonies of believers that I've spoken with who've been abducted by Boko Haram, have been, had guns held to their heads to ask them to deny Christ and to convert to Islam. In fact, spending time with Suzanne, a wonderful woman who was shot in the temple and left through the temple, left for dead, and now miraculously survived, but has lost her eyes and still has incredible faith, but she was unwilling to deny Christ. And that's happening time and time again across the Christian communities.
Wow. That, I got chills. Wow. I think this is such an overwhelming story. And my friend here wants to do something, but feels totally powerless. So how can we help our Christian brothers and sisters in Nigeria?
Yeah, it's first is to just be willing to step into their stories, read the stories from outlets like Global Christian Relief. There's many of others out there covering the stories. You have to look to find them, but enter and engage the stories. Pray for your persecuted family. I mean, a great time during this Holy Week too is to remember the suffering of Christ, but also remember and pray for the church who is still suffering for His name today, like those in Nigeria. So I encourage you. Prayer is paramount, but then also to give. I mean, these believers are left with next to nothing. Need food, need income generation projects, need shelter, need medical units as well too. So there's so many needs that we can pour into. So I would just say make that part of your DNA as a believer to make this story something worth caring about.
So I'm going to see if we can do a fundraiser on this video specifically for the folks over there in Nigeria. Hopefully there's still something out there that is a trustworthy fundraiser that I can connect to this video. But speaking of the other point, which is to share those stories, I just want to share just a snippet of a story of a man who has firsthand gone through this atrocity. So let's go ahead and get into that.
Boko Haram militants, they shot him in the head with an AK-47, but he survived. This week he testified before the U.S. Congress, and he joins us now from our D.C. bureau. Why did Boko Haram try to kill you that night?
Yeah, because I am a Christian. You know, in Yobe, we have few Christians in Yobe. The Boko Haram following house by house, village to village, town to town. Christians. Yeah, they came to me because I am a Christian. Also, they want me to deny my faith in order to be safe.
Well, why are they targeting Christians?
Yeah, because they want to Islamatize Nigeria. That's why they are targeting Christians. If you have agreed to deny your faith, you will be safe. If you not agree to do it, they will kill you and shout Allahu Akbar, that Allah is great.
But remember, they told you that it wasn't a religious thing, right? It's just a conflict that's taking place between political fractions. Remember that? It's not an ideological thing. That they'll stop if you just sign a ceasefire. Remember that? That's what you've been told? You've been told that these are the persecuted people, the brown people. That Islam is a religion of peace. Surely it couldn't stand behind anything like this, right? Is that not what you've been told? Yeah.
Wow, unbelievable. You chose to stand your ground. Why did you stand your ground and refuse to denounce Christ?
What can separate us from the love of Christ? Is it hardship? Is it persecution? Is it sword? No, nothing can separate us from that love of Christ. All those words make me to stand, to remember that nothing can separate me from the love of Christ.
Indeed.
You see, Christ did something for me and other people in the world. We are sinners. We are condemned criminals that we supposed to die, but he took all this burden. He paid for our debt. He died for us.
Amen.
Why can I not submit?
You know, over here in the West states, etc., we're told that bravery is a dude pretending to be a chick or saying that he's non-binary, some nonsense, right? Oh, he's so brave. You're so brave. No, that's bravery. That's actual bravery. Folks look at me and say, what you do is brave. And I say, I appreciate that to some extent, maybe. But when I look at that and the multitudes of stories just like that happening all across the world, that's bravery. Standing up to evil is bravery. appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there, or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace. Aquarius. Where?
I've been up for hours, I've been up for days, you. Staring at the ceiling, I've been counting strays, you. I've been in my feelings, I've been out of mind. I've been getting visions of the other kind. Yeah, I've been up for weeks. I'm in the counting blessings over counting sheep. I can never be the type to limit when it comes to me. I used to be the pleaser for the people. I ain't even